Number 3, we keep getting told we can't travel anywhere. If we go away and come back, we've got to quarantine for 14 days. But lo and behold, 80% of the people coming across the border are exempt. Well, I guess that means that if you're in an essential industry, you're immune from COVID. You can't pick it up, nor can you transmit it. You know what I mean? Like, I want some honesty about these issues, right? And if we're going to be exempt from quarantine, if 80% of people are exempt from quarantine for cross-border travel, you've obviously decided that's not important and that's not a high source of transmission. So let me book a darn flight so that I know I can have a vacation in the winter. See what I mean? Like, this is why I get so irritated. I've got a bunch of people jumping all over me for, why aren't you promoting mask wearing in all indoor places? This is the reason why. Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence and tell me what the markers are for when I stop wearing a mask. If you're going to make me wear one now, when there's 0 cases in my community, when there's 15 people in hospital in Calgary and 3 in ICU, at what point are you safe enough that I'm going to be allowed to take it off? That's all I want to know. Like, you don't start a policy with no end point, because we've seen what happens. You start a lockdown with no plan for how you're going to establish the measures to open up again, and you never end the lockdown. So, my friends, I'm going to try to be reasonable about all of this. But I want you to understand that my confidence in what government tells me is now probably at an all-time low. And it's that everybody tells us that we should be seeing. The other thing, too, guys, is honestly, like the number of articles that I read about the fact that we have not only antibodies if you get exposed to the virus, but our T cells themselves. If you have a strong immune system, that's enough for you to be able to fight off microbes for most people. We know that those under the age of 10 are immune. They don't get it by definition. They're immune. We also know that there's only been in Alberta 4 deaths of people under the age of 65. Like, doesn't that tell you something about the body's ability to fight this off and who's genuinely at risk? And here's the other side of it. If masks are the answer, why did we have the lockdown in the first place? Why didn't they tell us back in March all we had to do is all of us would wear masks and that would be sufficient? Why did we end up enduring the massive shutdown in our economy for the last 4 months and the inability to restart it if masks were the answer all along? So this is the problem we have. When public health officials give us conflicting information, they change their message all of the time, it creates distrust. Like some of you are saying right now, why in the world is anybody worried about the fact that the increase in the number of cases that we have are in the 20 to 29 age population? Isn't that the population that you want to develop the antibodies naturally if we don't have a vaccine? Because the more of them who develop it, then that's going to be a line of defense so that the more vulnerable don't get it. That's what herd immunity, natural herd immunity is all about. So why are we now freaking out about that? We're not seeing a massive increase in deaths, which is a sign of success. We're not seeing a massive increase in the number of people in hospital or ICU. We still have a huge capacity. Look, I'm prepared to look at the evidence from that most recent case with the hairstylist down in the U.S. They were wearing masks. I don't know if their customers were. I've heard different stories on that. They ultimately tested positive for COVID. They had treated or they had given service to 67 people. None of them tested positive. So that is an indication to me that if you're in close quarters with somebody where you're in the normal course of the business, you would be exchanging a lot of moist talk. And if it managed to prevent the others from getting sick, great. Then that's a good example of when a mask might be useful. If I'm walking past you down the no frills aisle, I'm not going to be talking to you. I'm not going to be sneezing at you. I won't be coughing on you. So I'm pretty sure that that's a little bit different than the scenario where you're sitting in a hairstylist chair for a couple of hours. But thanks for that. And I think that's the other point is that it's only a certain type of mask that will prevent the microbes from and the viruses and bacteria from coming in. The notion is to stop the droplets from going out and making other people feel protected. So again, I guess we have to watch what the evidence says, but there is mixed evidence, no doubt. We got